Hi guys! So today we're going to be measuring different objects all around your house using your ruler that you created yesterday and a yardstick. So I've attached a page. If you have a printer, you can print out this yardstick page. Otherwise, you can make something really similar to this. So the way that you can do that is think about your 1-inch tile that you used to create this yesterday. You are basically going to make 6 of these just with 6 inches each. So each one is going to be this big. So it's exactly the same as what's on this page. See, there's 6 of them, and they're all 6 inches. You just need to leave a little space at the top where this one says tab, where you can glue it together. So we're going to start off by making our yardstick. So if you need to create a page like this, use your 1-inch tile to create 6-inch little rulers, starting at 0 and going all the way up to 36. So a yardstick has 36 inches in it. And then when you cut each one out, you are just going to glue them together. So I'm going to show you how I would do step 1 for this. And then you guys can try this on your own. When you have a yardstick, you can press play to see how you would measure different things around your house and whether or not you're going to use a yardstick or you want to use your 10-inch ruler to measure things. Okay, so let's make our yardstick now. So you're going to cut out each 6-inch piece like this. So you're going to want to have 6 pieces that look like this. Pause now and do that. Okay, so you should have 6 pieces that look like this. They're each going to be 6 inches. So I'm going to kind of just tilt my computer screen down so you can see what that looks like. So I cut out all 6 that I have. Remember, if you don't have a printer to print out the yardstick, you can easily make your own using that 1-inch tile that we used yesterday. You would just have to take your 1-inch tile and you would have to mark it. Next one, mark it with your pen, just like kind of how we did yesterday. So then you do the next one, mark it, next one, mark it. So you're going to make each of these 6 inches. And once you do your first one, it's a lot easier because then you can cut out 5 more pieces the same length and just mark your inches. Just make sure you leave a little spot at the top where you can glue. So now on that spot that says tab is when I'm actually going to glue. So I'm going to make sure I just put a dab of glue. I've got this glue that works really fast, so I'm going to use that. And I just stick my next piece on it. Let's hope it works. I'm just going to hold it. Perfect. So now I have this part connected. Then I'm going to go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, I need this one because it's the next one. It starts with the 12 and 13. Same thing, just put a tiny little dab of glue and connect it down. This glue works pretty quick, so I don't need a lot of it. It's called crazy glue, so if you have that, that might make sure you have a parent to help you, though. It can make your fingers stick really easily. A regular glue, if you guys have it at home, works perfectly as well. All right, pause now to finish making your 36-inch yardstick. I still have a couple more pieces to glue on. And press play when you are ready to keep moving on. I'm going to pause too so I can finish making my yardstick. So now I have the yardstick that I created at home. It's about this big, 36 inches in total. And I have my 10-inch ruler. So we're going to be measuring different things around the house today and on your body. You're either going to decide, do I need to use this 10-inch ruler or do I need to use the 36-inch yardstick? If things are little, we don't need to use the big yardstick. If I'm measuring something that's smaller than my 10-inch ruler, all I have to use is my 10-inch ruler. I'm going to measure that using inches. If something's extra big, now I'm thinking like really big, like if I want to measure how long my whole apartment is, I'm not going to say how many inches it is though. I'm going to say how many yards it is, and I can use that, and I can measure that using my yardstick. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of minimize myself to the side here, and I'm going to show you guys some of the work that you're going to be completing today. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to measure different parts on your body. So the first thing we're going to measure is your shin. Okay, and your shin is your knee all the way to your ankle. So I will show you guys how I measure my shin. The first thing I have to do is decide, am I going to use my 10-inch ruler or am I going to use my yardstick? Let's look. I'm going to move my computer down a little bit so you guys can see my shins. Okay, so remember a shin is from here to here. All right, let's make sure that we can see that. Shin is from here to here. So if I put my 10-inch ruler here, it doesn't go all the way down. I still have extra space. So I'm not going to use this 10-inch ruler. I am going to use my yardstick. So I'm going to make sure I start at 0. Hold it tight at my knee, go all the way down to my ankle. My shin is 14 inches. Okay, so the way we would do that is we would just write right here. I used a yardstick. I would write yardstick. I can get my tool out if you guys want. Yardstick. I'm just going to write yard because it's kind of hard to write with this pen on this tool. And then the length of it was 14. I want to make sure I include inches so I know 14 what. So there you go. Yardstick, 14 inches. And the next thing you're going to measure is your arm. So that's your shoulder all the way to your wrist. So let's see, what should we use? Okay, should I use this right here? Let's look so you guys can see my whole arm. Should I use this? No, that's definitely not long enough. That only goes down to my elbow. I need to go all the way down to my wrist. So I am going to go with my yardstick again. Make sure I start at the side that says 0. That side was starting at 36. And you can ask for an adult to help you with this too. It goes down to 21 inches. So the length of my arm from my shoulder to my wrist is 21 inches. So I used the yardstick and I would put it was 21 inches. Okay, so that's how you're going to finish the first part. Then you have a question comparing your shortest and longest body part. So think about how you would write it. Try to figure out how much more one is than the other. Okay, your next chart says check out all the items in the first column. Circle which unit you would use to measure the item. So this one you're not actually measuring. You're just deciding what would you use to measure it. Okay, so let's think about how we would do this. Read the items and decide. Are they a lot of yards? So multiple yardsticks. So am I going to be measuring this and telling me how many yards it takes up? Am I going to be saying how many feet it is? So this is an actual ruler. You can use your 10-inch ruler to approximate for feet. Or am I going to tell you how many inches it is? So that depends on how big it is. So for example, the first one is the height of a door. So let's look at my door. I'm just going to turn you guys around so you guys can hopefully see my door. Right. Here's my door. All right. So if I'm measuring the height of my door, am I going to go and count how many little inches it is using this ruler? I'm going to say, okay, this is 12 inches and 12 more, so that's 24. No, I'm not going to do that. I could tell you how many feet it is. Let's see. 1 foot. Remember, one ruler is a foot. So 1 foot, mark it. 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 feet. But I also have this tool that's a lot bigger, so if I have to do that foot over and over and over again, I can also say how many yards it is. So how many yardsticks does it take up? Let's see. 1 yardstick, so that's 1 yard. I mark my spot. It's 2 yardsticks, so I can say that that door is 2 yards. So the easiest tool to measure that door with was a yardstick because it's much bigger and I'm measuring a bigger object. I don't have to use the ruler 6 times when I only have to use this twice. So for the height of a door, I would say yard. I'm going to go over one more with you guys. How about some other objects around our house? How about my phone? Am I going to tell you how many yards it is? No, it's not even 1 yard. Am I going to tell you how many feet it is? No, it's not even 1 foot. So this is when I might use my ruler, though, to figure out how many inches it is. I'm going to swivel back around this way. So I'm going to make myself big again so you guys can see. I'm just going to measure my phone using my 10-inch ruler. So I'm going to start it at the top. And it goes exactly to about 6 inches, just a little off. 6 is right here. So this phone is 6 inches. So it's not big enough to measure with feet or yards. So for that one, I would just circle inches. Now that one's not on here, but you can think about which things in here you would measure with inches, which things are smaller than feet and yards. Then think of a book, what you would measure that with, a pencil, the length of your car, the length of your whole street, and a paintbrush. So you're going to decide, am I going to measure that saying how many inches it is? Am I going to measure it saying how many feet it is, or am I going to measure it saying how many yards it is? Okay, and then you have a quick question below. Billy measures his pencil. He tells his teacher it's 7 feet long, so 7 feet. Use the back of the paper, or you can write it below to say why Billy is wrong. What unit should he have said? It's 7 what? It's not 7 feet. What is it? Okay. And then the last part of your work today is you are going to choose the tool that you want to measure. So this is kind of similar to the first part, but some different objects around your house. So it says the length of a rug. So find a rug. Are you going to use your yardstick to measure the rug, or are you going to use your 10-inch ruler? Okay, a textbook. We don't need a textbook. A textbook is like a big book from school. If you have a book with like a hardcover that's bigger, that would work. Otherwise, you can just use a small book like this. I'm going to use a small book like this. A pencil. The next one says length of a chalkboard. Don't do length of a chalkboard. Instead of that, maybe do length of a door or a refrigerator. Anything around your house that you would rather do that's about the size of a big board at school. And then a pink eraser. If you don't have a pink eraser, feel free to do a phone. So I can write those examples in for that last part. I meant to change those. I'm sorry about that. But you guys should be able to find things that are about the same size as those around your house. Just cross it out and write what you're actually going to measure. Decide if you're going to use a yardstick or a 10-inch ruler and measure away. Have fun, guys.